off. Amen. All that kind. I'm just telling the truth about it. Don't tell me to go on. I'm taking care of my business. That was that amen was a move on. You're getting in the flesh now. You just move on. I never will. This is it. Romans 13:2. Whosoever therefore resisteth the power, if you kicking against our president, you're resisting the what? Ordinance of God. If you are resisting the powers that be, you are resisting the what? Ordinance of God. And they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation. God is going to hold you responsible of how you treat President Trump, how you talk about him, what you think. Oh, you better keep it to yourself, because God is going to hold you responsible for the way that you put his name out there.
All right.
I'm going to say, hey, President Trump, that's my president. You don't have to know the full story. President Trump, I'm not trusting you. I'm trusting God. And guess what, Mr. President? If you don't do all of us right and have a government set up to serve all of us, white, black, brown, tan, yellow, whatever, if you don't set it up in your orchestra, your group of, what do you call them when they've got your back? Your what? If your cabinet is not all about making things better for everybody in America, then you're going to get in trouble. Got to get a witness. Moving on. I trust God. 13:3. For rulers are what? For rulers are what? Not a terror of good works. All you got to do is keep doing what? Good.
That's right.
If you wasn't no robber, don't start becoming a robber. Can I get a witness? If you wasn't a child molester, a rapist, a dopehead, don't become one. Obey the laws. If you don't steal, don't start stealing. You ain't got nothing to worry about. But he's a minister of God to thee for good. But if thou do that which is evil, you ought to be shaken in your bosom. You ought to be scared of Trump and his law and order campaign. He gonna let the po-po loose, but they ain't been let loose on me, because I'm not gonna be found doing anything to draw attention to myself.
All right. Amen.
They pulling over suspicious looking people when they see the cops. They don't look at them. Look at them and wave. Hey, officer. Hey, man, I know all of them. I've been out there at the Evangel Temple praying for them and hugging them and everything else. You know, so they know who I am. They know I'm not up in any dirt trying to sell drugs. I've had offers to sell drugs out of this church. You didn't know that, did you? I have had offers that they would give me so much money if I would allow them to hide drugs from Dallas, Texas in this church. And the Lord said, Mac's not going to do. Oh, yes, he will. We make the price right. No, you can't give me $1 million to do that. I went to jail one time in my life. That was enough for me.
Amen.
Get in there. They got to shove you when they put you in jail. Get in there. I'm down there crying like a big old baby. I'm down there crying like a big baby. I ain't no animal. Oh, Daddy, come get me. And smuggled a knife up in the jail. I was acting up and crying so hard they forgot the shit. I used to carry a big old long knife, and I had a hole in my trench coat, and I put it in my back here. And they missed that knife, and I carved my name in one of the cells down there. Yeah, I knew Jump Street. That jail ain't for Mac. No. So I said, I should be in jail and out of jail, but I didn't get caught. You did. Moving on. Yeah, I didn't get caught. I could put a move on it. Here come the bell. Whoop. Feet don't fail me now. Moving right along. Do that which is good, and thou shalt have praise of the same. You always want to be on good terms with the government. with law enforcement, those that God has set up, and be a responsible, good citizen, you'll be just fine. For he is a minister of God. That's what he is, a minister of God to thee for good. But if thou do that which is evil, be afraid, for he beareth not the sword in vain, for he is a minister of God. 2 times he said that. A revenger to execute wrath upon him that doeth evil. If you're not doing any evil, you ain't got nothing to worry about.
Amen.
We need leaders. We need government to run our world, to run societies, because if we didn't, we have nothing but a bunch of sinners let loose on this earth. And guess what? There would be lawlessness and chaos if we didn't have laws, rules, and regulations and official leaders to run our society. Because sinners don't know how to act. Can I get a witness? But you are not a sinner, so that don't involve you. Can I get a witness? But are you on that thin line whereby you're a half Christian and you're a half sinner? You half and half. You know what I mean? And your conscience is eating you up like, oh, you're expecting the worst, but you're hoping for the best. Some could jump off because I know I ain't right, but so far I'm in good. Yeah. Don't stay out there on that thin line too long, because one day someone will reach up and bite you. You know, I've been there and done that. He bit me real good. That's why I've been preaching ever since. That's right, I got bit real good. You either do or you are dead, man, Mac. I'm sick and tired of playing with you. You made me about 2 promises. You made me one in Chicago. You got to Dallas and backslid. Listen to this. Now, if you don't get it right this time, you're not going to be around much longer. Now, that's what God spoke to me, and I said, you ain't got to tell me again. I threw it away. I gave my gun away and everything. That's for sure. I gave my pistol away and everything else just to get myself, try to get right with God. And God is such a good God. Listen to this. You being a citizen of heaven does not lessen your responsibility to what? To the earth. You live on this planet. So you should obey what? The rules, the laws, the regulations.
Amen.
You should respect the president, speak well of him, and pray for him. You should be good citizens in this earth, although this is not your home. You should live your life whereby that you will give God what? Glory.
Amen.
And whining and talking negative about the president-elect is not giving God glory.
That's right.
It's not. It's making us look bad. I bet you even sinners are saying when you having these high-heated conversations and almost getting in a fight about, oh, Lord, Trump is the president, so what? Like I put in a post on Facebook, a monkey could be president for all I care. It ain't gonna bother me none. Shouldn't bother you none. Get that squared away in you. You are to live a life circumspectly of this world that you live in. A life that will what? Give God glory.
Amen.
WWJD.
Yeah.
What would Jesus do? Think about that. Think about it. Just for a minute. Just think about it. Let it sink in real good. What would Jesus do? Okay. People try to tell Jesus, oh, we've been waiting on you for years. We know you're going to come in and change this stuff. They thought he was going to change the Roman government and all that. So no, he didn't. He came in and set up a spiritual kingdom for us so that we could live in this world and not be of it. Is that right?
Amen.
It's not, we're to obey the rules of this world that we live in, but we're not to lose sight that we're from another world.
Amen.
Doing good because we represent the kingdom of heaven. We're supposed to let the sinners know, say, hey, they're different. I think I want to join their group. But if we cutting up and acting up, man, I looked at Facebook, I said, Lord, I just got burdened down and my heart got heavy. Lord, is this where we really are? What's wrong with these pastors' wives? Pastors' wives are cussing, clowning, threatening. I'll come over to your house and do this to you and that, and you don't know I ain't the one. Oh, whoa, who are you? I don't know you. I thought you was so-and-so's wife, first lady. They just cutting up. Listen to this. So we know that all authority comes from God. And listen to this. Here's the clincher. You've heard this before. You must respect the office of president even if you don't respect the what? The officer. Amen. You might not respect Trump, but you've got to respect his what? Office. Okay? You don't have to go along with everything that he does or say, but guess what? You need to respect him as the president. That's right. Okay? And that's just the way it is. And historically, we know that the leaders here in America, and you know this for a fact, law enforcement on up, they have abused their authority. And anytime you've got people misusing their power and authority, guess what they're doing? That's called power out of control. So we have a lot of power that's out of control here in America, and especially when it's not being used what? To seek the very best for all. And can we get real for a moment? To my white sisters in here, I'm not throwing off on you, I'm just telling you just the way it is from a black's perspective and a Bible perspective. Listen to this. We know that the powers that be are not seeking what's best for all. Those people are colored, are being oppressed in every way that you can imagine, and in some ways you can't imagine. You got 10,000 people and you got one poll in place. That's more oppression than anybody's language. Got lines all the way around the block and people waiting 3 and 4 hours to vote. That's voter oppression. Maybe they'll get tired and go home. And the blacks sit down with a spirit of apathy. Our black race didn't go out to vote the way that they should have gone out to vote. Because they probably got sick and tired down through the years of being lied to and made all these promises of a pie in the sky and that things would get better, and ain't nothing got better. How do you do it? Stay away, anger, stay away. Stay away, anger, it'll show up in your face. You know what these people think you're mad. So he's not angry, he's just emotional. Just emotional. Been around. I've been around long enough to know the deal. We've got double standards in application of the law. And you know that to be a fact. And I want to give you some information, just for information's sake, some things that I want you to know. Okay? We don't live in a perfect union, do we? Nope. The United States is not perfect, and no other country is. But listen to this. I want to show you what's happening, and then I'm going to take my seat. 96% of the incumbents in 2014 and 2012 election to Congress and to the Senate, guess what? They were re-elected, and an incumbent is a person that holds an office. And others, in other words, run against them. Okay, so 96% of the incumbents, the Republicans, were re-elected to their positions in the Senate, in the Congress. 96%. And during those two elections, 2012 and 2014, there was a 83% disapproval rating. In other words, the masses didn't think that they did a good job and were not really pleased with the way that they ran things. And this, if it was a republic, the power is in the people's hand, or in the representatives that the people elected. Why is it that the people didn't vote them out? And how could 83% disapproval rating get you reelected? That doesn't make sense, does it? No. 83% of the nation don't like the way you did your job, but guess what? 96% of them got their jobs back in their seat of Congress. So what happened? Do you have the slightest idea of what happened? How did they get their jobs back with 90-some% of a 83% disapproval rating? The same way that what? That Miss Clinton with the popular votes is not our president. There is a system that's in place. And they got all reelected, although they didn't do anything to benefit anyone else but themselves. They got reelected. Let me tell you what's going on. One word will tell you why certain people can get reelected with an 83% disapproval rating in this country that we live in. Excessive amount of money. One word is called M-O-N-E-Y. Money runs America, and it don't have anything to do with the popular vote. My vote count, but why Miss Clinton the president? It's the way the system is set up. And it's not set up by the masses. It's not set up by the normal, everyday Joe like you and I. It's set up by someone that is elite and filthy rich. The 1% of the richest people in the world, there is 1% of them that are, guess what? Involved in the political system, and they are the ones that call the shots from behind the scenes. Period. Believe it or not. Okay, moving on. All of this money that they pump into elections basically has influenced the outcome of elections, and they basically, those with the money, has a monopoly over the election. Oh, I'm not going to say that. I'm on national TV. Better not say that one. Somebody might get me. Better be quiet on that. Might take my license and everything. But the power to control elections is in the hands of the tiny majority of the elite, wealthy people around the world. This ties into establishing a what? One world order. A one world financial institution. This is what we're talking about in Bible study, whether you want to know it or not. We are saying that it's the tribulation period. They call it globalism.
All right.
Whereby, why is it one group want to tear down the border and one want to build a wall? Donald Trump is what you call a nationalist. He's saying that I'm going to break up this system where the filthy rich are calling the shots and let the masses, the majority of the population, just go along for a ride. Trump saying, I'm going to change things. I'm a nationalist. I'm going to be trying to build up America independently of the rest of the world. And I'm going to put a wall up to keep those that are not white, like me, out of the country, okay, that's taking all the jobs and leaving the middle-class American white without jobs. I'm going to bring all the jobs back that the want and have let out of our country, I'm going to bring it back